All right, can you guys hear us? We are back here at the ASUS AOOC 2014, and we had a slight technical issues, but everything is resolved. So now we can focus again back on our 3D, right?
Okay, somebody's advised us to pay the electricity bill, so we'll get right on to that.
It didn't got black, so I suppose there's still power, but maybe, you know, there's a lot of static electricity around it. It's quite amazing. Because there's a plastic floor where the overclockers are, some kind of like weird vinyl kind of flooring thing, and every time you walk, you just start loading up all the energy, and you touch someone, everything gets... So yeah. That's probably, maybe something happened right there.
I didn't need to put gel in my hair, just touch everything and it goes straight up.
Yeah, or maybe the server hamsters are just too slow. I mean, like, maybe, we should inject them with some kind of something.
What do they advise that we should give them, like some Red Bull or something?
Well, we are taking any advices to solve hamster server issues or server hamster issues. We are really open-minded and no problem about that.
Let's see if we already have something new on the scoreboard. Not yet, might be a little bit too early. People just downclocking, probably initially again submitting some save scores, probably things that you could do on air or on water.
Yeah, that's it. Like if you look, even most of the guys, well, like they're not doing like right now, still mounting and slowly getting at 3D. Like, I mean, they still have plenty of time, right? Yeah. They have 2 hours to submit a 3D Mark 11 score. They have 3 hours now to submit their 3D Mark Fire Strike, and they should have another extra hour after that to submit a Fire Strike Extreme. So there should be plenty of time, but you know, you better be actually kind of ready to boost a little bit, because those hours are going to run by really fast.
So Dark Gregor, I'm going to talk with the overclockers which BIOS they got provided, because I know there were like several BIOSes floating around for people to test, and I also know that Jensen tested a few for the guys, but I'll get back to you right on the correct version they're using, okay?
Yep.
So I have no idea, because I don't think Vlad mentioned that into the description of all the software and hardware. We just were aware about the BIOS on the board, but the BIOS on the graphics card will come back to you for that.
Yep. So that's on the screen is Wizardy. Apparently they're plugging PSU, so getting ready for 3D as well. No graphics card plugged yet. Perica Barry, those guys just rebooted Windows. I think they're also still making the last final tweaks for their 3D. The Greek guys finishing remounting their CPU pod. So it seems that this is the choice that everyone made of making sure everything was dry before going into 3D, which is a very safe thing to do, actually, taking a 15-minute cut and then checking everything, mounting back again. And
we're having some streaming issues as well. Okay, now it's working again, because I saw the German team too, still looking with the flashlight, looking for any condensation issues or something else.
Yeah, so and then if we look at Perikabari and the German guys, both of them getting ready for 3D, either tuning the system or here we can see also 8-pack in their Bauer, just restarting into Windows. And they're opening, they're opening the GPU tweaker utility. Yeah.
So again, not third-party software like most of us are using. The Afterburner tool, which is like very
practical,
compatible with most hardware out there. But indeed, ASUS only event and ASUS only software, which is quite understandable.
Yep. So that's the Russian guys. Very much in the same state than everyone else. It seems they're installing some 3D drivers, so I suppose,
Could be.
Yeah, it seems like some installation windows or something.
Yeah,
Extreme Addict. I don't see any cold coming out of their pods, so they're probably still at the very near ambient temperatures or something very relaxed. I don't think those guys yet are into the hardcore benching. Everyone, is still making sure it's all running fine driver-wise before actually going into the... There's no point of cooling down everything and then having driver issues. You're just wasting your time.
Just make sure everything runs, maybe already adjust some settings in the drivers and then just go for the clock. So we see they're cooling down the GPUs now. Now it's becoming interesting to see how the guys manage to do everything.
Yep.
So I see a lot of French guys. The French guys are awake, grabbing the popcorn, watching the show, cheering on Wizardry and Madros.
Welcome guys on the stream. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask us. On the next break we are going to go talk with the guys anyway to have a few more straight from the battleground information for you guys, so don't hesitate to share it. So it seems Matros also starting to benchmark. 8-pack is in the BIOS.
The only thing I want to, in fact, ask to Slams is now, this time they went for the high end.
Yes.
Because we're like the 3rd edition of the AOOC,
Yep.
Timothy. And in the beginning they did let like the mainstream one.
Yep.
They took like Ivy Bridge, so 30, 70, 70k, Rampage, sorry, the Maximus 5 board. Then last year it was Haswell, 40, 70, 70k. And now this year they didn't like go for Devil's Canyon. They used Devil's Canyon for the qualifiers, but they went straight to the high-end platform. I think also from a bencher's point of view, this is a more interesting platform. Just
more challenging, right?
More challenging as well, plus performance-wise, it's like a huge step forward. Everybody's a bit...
The scores you're seeing are really different from what you could have expected with...
The difference between Haswell and Devil's Canyon is not clock per clock, there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's less exciting as well,
It's less exciting as well, plus the frequencies that most overclockers are getting with Devil's Canyon are way below their golden samples that they have with the 470, 70k.
Yeah. You can see Matros seems to be opening the Explorer, probably looking for some files to tweak and little things here and there.
Yeah, it's those settings that they didn't want to share. Some are adjusting the LOD, so the level of detail. See already people monitoring the voltages like Roman is doing with 8-pack.
Well, yeah, it's important if you have modded your card, like before you actually go full thrust on it, well, you want to make sure all your mods are actually working properly.
Yep.
Maybe like making sure your resistors, if you have actually adjustable resistors, are wired properly, and when you tweak them, you can see actually the stuff changing on your Windows console or like a Windows tweaker utility. So all those little like early bench starts checks, like as an airplane pilot will have a checklist pretty much. You know? Going through the checklist before you take off is always a good idea.
Yeah.
So great guys.
It's just an anecdote, but I'm like an air traffic controller in my daily business, and I've seen helicopters take off and then after 3 or 4 minutes coming back because they forgot to refuel. And that ain't no joke. That's real life.
Oops.
So we're all human, so we all can make mistakes. But
guys, don't forget to plug the power supply.
Yeah. Or switch off the fuel pumps during flight.
Yeah. So it seems to be quite a lot of French people on the chat.
Yeah, it's rising. So they're probably all cheering you on.
Oh yeah,
because you're French as well.
What time is it in France, or what time is it where you are watching the stream? For us here, it's 2:50 p.m. If you have any stuff to share, local anecdotes, anything funny, now it's the time, because now it's a bit more relaxed. There's not so much going on besides setting up and tweaking.
It's a still point now at the moment, so we're still looking for the first submission, but probably it will take another 10 to 15 minutes before somebody posts something, let's say, worth mentioning, in fact.
Yeah, if you guys want to keep up with the submission, don't forget you can check the submission page on the HW.OC esports site. I'm sharing with you the links right now in the chat, so that's where you can follow it. And don't forget you can filter the results. So if you want to only see 3 Mark 11 performance results, just tick the box. It's gonna be a lot easier.
Yeah, and I saw a mention why SF3D, so Patrick O'Hornan, is not benching, man. He's too old. He's getting too old for this. I hope he doesn't hear it, because he probably wants to arm wrestle me again this evening. But yeah, I think Patrick is fully happy to be judge and
it's pretty cool to see those guys, right, having kind of made that progression in their OC career. Started like being one of those top guys at the time, being even like manufacturers at other times, you know, and like being there like creating value, creating gear for the other overclockers to be able to keep pushing higher. And then when you reach that kind of point, you just decide, well, you know what, maybe I should leave my spot to somebody else, and now I'm gonna just be the judge, put my experience to the service of taking swift decisions if there's a problem and making sure
he knows the ropes. He has attended so many overclock events, set so many records, and he knows indeed what goes on in an overclocker's mind when like busy during a competition, and then some that try to bend the rules a bit in their advantage. That won't work with these guys. But I honestly say I think most of the guys are happy that Petri is not in the competition. Neither is Tapaka, and neither is Slams, because those guys are also really awesome benchers.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now on the screen, Extreme Addict and Giorgio Primo looking a bit concerned about the system for some reason.
Yeah.
Not sure. Matros and Terroraptor. Sorry, no, not Terroraptor. John White. Still setting up.
Yeah,
seems that 8-Pack and Roman are already running benchmarks.
Yeah. And they're like, really relaxed now. Probably after their first spot, they're saying, okay.
It gives you confidence, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
So if you finish first spot after another one, and you actually did it by surprising everybody else, then you have that competitive advantage, psychological competitive advantage over the others. Barry Kabari, those guys are discussing things. The benchmark is running, so I suppose they're not looking straight at the frames per second, which means they're not caring so much. This is probably just a run to see the score, see if the efficiency is alright, probably either at stock or at a reference frequency that they knew their card at home, for example, could achieve.
I think that's also a thing that you can do before you enter event, is just check up on the scores on HWBot.
Yeah,
the ranking is so easy to compare, and even if you just it doesn't matter if you're on LN2, but if you can compare like similar clocks, maybe just check a 5 gigahertz CPU, a 1400, 1500 submission, and you see if we're in the same region or better, then you're well on your way, of course. Of course, if your score is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, if there's a gap of 500 points for the same clock, same everything, you probably have some kind of issue.
That's usually the thing that happens with me. Sometimes I don't get it.
Yeah, sometimes S happen, right?
Yeah, there's some benchmarks that I really don't master at all. One of them is Unigen. I can't get it.
Yeah.
I'm always scoring way too low, no matter what I'm doing.
So I keep rotating the angles so you guys can have an idea of what is going on every table. There's 8 teams today, 16 competitors, so it's a lot of systems to follow at once. But if you guys want to follow everything in a peaceful manner, we're just gonna keep on switching like this. You can have a minute-to-minute update of what everyone is up to.
Yeah, and I saw already some guy mentioning the word monkey time. Indeed, it will be probably one guy doing the LN2 monkey thing, filling up to keep the CPU cold, GPU cold during a one run, quick refill, next run. So indeed, it's getting more hectic now. They could focus only on the CPU in the Cinebench stage, but now they have 2 pots to master, and I still haven't seen any of the guys pulling out memory pots. Luckily, I think they will remain in the boxes today.
There's an interesting question on the chat, Siller Yen, which is asking, he's asking us that he has a GT640, I suppose it's GTX 640, and what other card you should get as a replacement if you don't have too much budget. What I would recommend actually, maybe a 750 would not be a too bad choice to transition.
Be careful what you announce, Timothy. Those are really sensitive subjects. You have the AMD cam still, and the NVIDIA cam,
Okay.
And
it's fine, you know what? I'm okay to discuss everything. I'm open to... But I mean, like...
Yeah, you have 4 standards, and some say indeed, AMD, nice price, but their drivers suck. And the others say, I never had any issues with AMD. And it's always like left and right.
There's no point of taking a stand on that. It's all about personal experience. And if you enjoyed your experience with one brand, well, stick with it. If you hear a much better story about another one, just give it a try. If it's in your budget, well, of course, go for it. If not, we'll just keep on evolving progressively, And we're not talking much about that, but you know, if you really are on the budget, there's always second-hand stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that change their gear all the time, and there's definitely room to, you know, find some gear that is cheap enough, and then you just overclock and squeeze out those extra megahertz you need to
Yeah.
not have your dream card almost, but you know, somewhere
Yeah.
close.
And in fact, it's like said. I've asked. People ask me also at the game conventions if we did like a small demo there. But,
Mm.
is CPU overclocking beneficial for, let's say, daily game setups? And usually it is not.
Yeah.
Just let's say the standard clock. If you have like a quad core, usually that's more than sufficient to play most modern titles. And indeed, sometimes it's just better to invest a little bit more in the GPU or just overclock it a little bit, because most of the people can reach. You have the standard clock, the reference models, let's say,
Yeah.
and let's say the straight overclocked models from Gigabyte, MSI, ASUS, EVGA, doesn't matter. Normally you can do them clocks manually, so you don't even have to pay for those clocks.
Right.
They're warranted by the manufacturer, and in fact you can just buy the reference card and just overclock it 50 megahertz more. I'm not saying it will give you like a 10 FPS boost, but it will boost something.
It gives a boost.
It gives a better boost than, let's say, to overclock the CPU from 3,500 megahertz to 4,000. It doesn't matter that much for gaming. If you're doing like encoding and stuff, the more CPU power you have,
Well,
the
sure,
faster
like
it goes. It's
especially if we're thinking of people that do rendering for, I don't know, architecture stuff, and you don't have a big GPU on which you can offload with OpenGL or anything like CUDA or, you know, technologies like this, well, then it's rendered on your CPU, and that's where you need
yeah.
possibly 8 cores, like with the X99 system, or possibly, you know, and then every extra megahertz is probably reducing your encoding time by what, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe more.
You're the
And
encoder guy, man. I
you
got
know,
no
like
clue.
if you're on an event that you as a professional you need, does that 15 minutes make the difference with a competitive advantage to another media? For example, if you work in journalism or anything like this, well, you know, it's worth the take.
Or maybe
right?
this morning you still were able to eat breakfast.
Well, yeah, sure.
Because you were still compiling the videos and uploading them.
Well,
So
that's
if you
it.
can save like 15 minutes, it's
15 minutes saved, you know.
yeah.
And if it adds up, if you do really intensive tasks for a very extended period of time, then every megahertz is for sure beneficial.
You see the chat started on Twitch. So you have your well, you have one guy neutral who says, okay, both cams have pretty fine products. Indeed, it's just buy the best you can for your product, for your money that you have, for your budget. In fact, that's what I wanted to say. Just compare. There are like a lot of reviews going on GPUs, and even on the second-hand market, you can find like real steals. Like people that just upgrading. You have those fanatics that with each new launch, they have the desire, the need, the urge to buy something new, even if it's not that much faster, but at least they have the latest card. And yes, usually you can wait till some brand releases new product line and just buy the old one. And then you have plenty of power.
Old one overclock, or just buy the new one, but not necessarily high end, and then overclock it as well. Or if you wanna, then you become like, if you get into overclocking, then you can actually, you know, push the envelope higher and maybe afford some high end.
Maybe a second-hand card at HW Bot is not that advisable to do, but I think.
Well, you know, that's a different problem.
Yeah, different problem, I think.
Well, you know, like it's all those questions of okay, which brand, which what. It's also the same question if you ask people Intel, AMD, you know. It's like, but then the difference.
It just all depends your budget, your specific needs.
Yeah, and if there's promotion, yes, indeed. If there's like Christmas sales or anything, you know, well, of course you should definitely go for it. But that's where it makes the most sense.
PC games rules console gaming, man. That's what we need to promote.
Yeah,
not who is better, AMD or Intel.
Yeah, well, we're on Twitch, right? And I suppose most of the people play PC based games here. Well, there's people playing, of course, like console games, and I guess just the point of for me for a console game is that the gameplay experience is different. It's something you play more likely in your living room instead than at the desk with a chair. I mean, like if you ever tried PC game in the living room, unless you play with a gamepad, you forget it. Usually. Unless your living room is actually your desk and everything like that. So it's that's how things work, right?
But it's still fun because we're like in the Moscow Cyber Stadium, and they're like, how many PCs are there? They're like in another room. They're like 30, 40 PCs maybe.
Least,
so people can come in and just log on and play their favorite games. And I've seen so much Counter-Strike still.
There's
These are
still
like
a lot of
up-to-date
Counter-Strike
modern
going on,
machines,
yes.
and people still like play Counter-Strike Source. It's like I don't know what version they are at the moment, but
Yeah.
it's still like the same graphic style, and it fascinates me that some games are still being played.
So we are switching to camera number 4, which is Peri Kabari and Alex at Pro, and Alex at Raw, sorry, and those guys have submitted the first score in this 3D Mark 11 performance moment.
Yeah, can you click open the
So let me open the score, and this actually is it's a 19,643 score, and there's another one from Wizardy that just arrived. So same CPU. Same CPU frequency.
He needs a drink, Adeline. He needs a drink.
Yeah, I have no more Coke. All right, so let's deal with it one by one. First, Peri Kabari and Alex at Raw, those guys, 1900, and so like the graphics card overclocking is still very, very gentle, right?
Yeah, those are normally frequencies you can do on air.
Yes, this is
Those are
something.
really
This is
doable on air or
runs.
water.
Those are what we could code safety runs. Is runs to have a score. It's better than not having a score and being screwed. And so there's not so much to be said about those ones. It's like a very gentle GPU overclock, very gentle CPU overclock as well, 66%, which is into what those guys were benching before already.
So if you look at the rankings at AW bot, so they're still on the second page. So we see still a lot of people submitting there with stock and air coolers, not even water cooling, and they're running like 1500, 1600 boost clocks. So indeed, maybe the CPU will make up a little bit, but it will boost. It will boost.
That's right.
We promise that we will hopefully will see.
Yeah. And then looking at the second submission, which is also placeholder submission by Wizardy pretty much. So here frequency slightly higher, well not so much actually, the CPU one is the same. GPU is slightly higher, almost double, like 15%. And then we are looking at the GPU memory 13.70% overclock, so 2000 megahertz. So yeah, that's getting a little bit better, but that's nothing yet that is going to be highly
I think
competitive.
we'll have to keep the overclockers here to post at least 26k plus scores. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Well, that's if you want to be.
This thing is like it's nice, but it's even we could do it maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I would just boot on air and you probably run the same. It's probably not heating so much.
This should be perfectly possible on air, so it's not an issue.
So right now that's about it. There's not so much to say about the submissions. I guess we can keep on taking our time and see how the guys are going. And so if you guys have any topics of discussions you want to put up, just throw it into the chat. Let us know what you want to discuss, if there's something on your mind about your next purchase, for example, or things like that, what recommendations we could have. So we have a question of Lucy Mustik. What's going on right now? Right now it's 3D Mark 11 benching. Well, basically you can bench any 3D Mark you want right now, but the nearest deadline is 3D Mark 11, which is going to be at 4:30, if I'm not mistaken.
Just checking the screen.
So this means you guys, there's still a bit of time left for that one.
16:30,
Yeah, so 3 hours left. 3 hours and 30 minutes left before the end of this one.
So let's get that going. Let's see more scores, guys. The Czech Christian Ney, Mr. Flanker, he's protecting the AMD stronghold.
Yeah. Well, it's fair enough. Why not?
But he has a point. It's all about budget, and in fact the CPU doesn't count that much. I know that probably on many review sites, even on match terms, we maybe put the AMD processors in a bad daylight because we were like just expecting more of them.
Yeah.
They were like releasing an 8-core and didn't perform like one, so that was like the biggest advantage. But it's more than sufficient for gaming or even for encoding.
Yes.
It's no issue. Just go by your own preference, guys. Your own budget. That's what works.
Yeah. So right now, if you're seeing the screen, that's the team of Wizardy.
Yeah, they're validating again.
Yeah, Terroraptors are launching the benchmarks, so they're going to probably go either for another run, or now that they have their reference run, they're just going to slowly ramp up their frequencies. And so always have a look at the very first benches, very first benches in the benchmark to see follow the FPS count and see how high it's going at very critical moments. Usually you always have a point in the benchmark where you remember how much you've got, and you very quickly know if your run is going to be good or worse than the previous one. There's no need to run the whole benchmark.
Yeah, if we look closely at the screen, now Wizardy has scored blocking it. He's hiding the proof, but they're running like a very high level of detail. So almost nothing is being rendered anymore. Like on the screen, it was like fully orange. So there was like not much left of the original 3D Mark 11, and it's an allowed driver tweak, or how do you want to call it?
Yeah.
So it's completely.
It's all fine.
Legit. So there's nothing dodgy or special going on. We just want to see the highest output number, no matter what.
Yeah. If we look at the other teams right now, for example, you can see Perica Barry on the screen. So those guys, they have quite a mess on their desk actually, if you look at it. The scopes. This is like a proper overclocking desk.
This should be resembling my living room.
Well, I mean, like compared to this one, right? There's a significant difference. You have to admit, it's a very different style of organizing your desk and being able to find your screwdrivers among your teacups and.
I'm always looking for where the fuck did I leave my USB stick to put the scores on? He is somewhere. There's always somewhere hidden behind.
Yeah. There, guys. Once again, starting the benchmark.
So I don't know when we have a break planned, Timothy, so I can have a chit chat with the people downstairs, with the the real people that matter today, not us, but the guys doing the scores, just to see what they're expecting and if they're already running into like maybe issues or something.
Yeah. Well, you can do, for example, you could watch the challenge video and have a look at what those guys were discussing into what is going to be the most challenging task for them today. That video was recorded yesterday evening, so when the guys arrived after a very long and tiring trip to Moscow, but we got a few answers squeezed out of them, and it's pretty interesting stuff to go on. So we're gonna watch this video, and after that we'll take a few minutes break, and then we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes after that for a quick recap of what's going on, and we will have more information on like some bias questions that we have had, version questions, right?
Yep.
And a few other details. So check out this video and we'll be back after that.
The main problem could be the CPU. I think X99 is pretty heavy to bench. For me, it is definitely the hardest platform I've ever benched. Although I just benched on cold for 2 years now, but it's pretty heavy. You have a cold bar, which is not a real cold bar, from the past. You have to take care of temperatures while the CPU is in idle. It's a totally difference between idle and load. So yeah, it's pretty heavy. X99 is not easy to bench.
Of course, I think the first and second team, of course, with 8-pack and the Dutch German team. So we'll try to do our best and see what we can do.
To have luck. If you don't have a good graphic card, and when you have 75% of the score coming from 3D benchmark, if your graphic card are worse than other participants, you have no luck to win. So you just have to hope to have good hardware and a lot of luck, and then you can do your best to be better. But every contestant are really good and have skills, so yeah, the key is luck.
I think the main challenge will be the Fire Strike, normal and extreme.
I think it's Fire Strike, extreme and Cinebench, because we have to do everything and find the max of our card and CPU as quick as possible in order to manage to be on the top of the rankings, actually. That's it.
Well, I think the main challenge is, as with all live events, is getting everything to come together at once and managing the time well. I mean, because you've got such a long time to submit the Fire Strike benchmarks doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't get a score in on all benchmarks pretty early. I think because Cinebench is weighted quite low, and obviously you've only got a very short period of time to finish that, I think that's one just to get out of the way and then just focus on 3D, but maybe run all 3D benchmarks straight away, get scores in, and then try and improve your score, starting with 11 because the cut-off time is earlier than Fire Strike and Fire Strike Extreme, and tweaking accordingly. I think as with all live competitions, the challenge is to solve the problems with the system that you see while you're running, and then maximise each score in the time period allowed.
I think the main challenge is the time management. To get the best scores in time it's quite difficult because some people they tend to focus on one benchmark for too long, and then they forget that they maybe have to pre-test for another benchmark first and to test the clocks for the card. So actually the time management and the binning for the CPU is the most important part. Yeah.
Back, guys, here at the ASUS AOOC 2014 Europe Finals. I'm Tim and here's Albert with me, and we are going to go over the latest updates from the competition. Right now we are in the 3D Mark 11 benchmark stage, and so this is part of a bigger global, bigger 3D stage where you have three 3D benchmarks. So you have 3D Mark 11 Performance, you have 3D Mark Firestrike, and 3D Mark Firestrike Extreme. So right now, because the closest deadline to submit is 3D Mark 11 Performance, everyone is focusing on that one.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy, I think, for everyone to really take the hour or something left in that benchmark to make the best of it.
Yeah, and finally we're seeing some decent scores being pulled out now. 21:43 by Alex Rowe and Parika Bari team. So in fact already like an 8th spot in the total ranking of the GTX 980 card. And still, of course, way of, let's say, loads of headroom to improve the score, only clocking at 1750. So most guys are confident that they can reach like 2000 plus on the GPU core, so boosting the scores. And of course everybody is like also expecting a little bit easier on the CPU just to get everything done. The thing that they can do now as well is run the GPU tests maybe at a little higher frequency, and then the combined tests, which is using the CPU a lot, just clock it down via the OC panel. So they just can go down one multiplier or something, just to make sure that the run completes.
All right.
In fact, not that much new to tell, Timothy.
Did you learn anything new from down there?
Yeah, the only thing that, let's say, Team 1, so with 8pack and their Bauer, did to reach, let's say, the magical 5.5 of today, was in fact that they changed too many settings at the same time, they said. They usually had issues booting with a high encore, which then led into a no boot or something weird happened on the board, and the multiplier was not set properly. And so they made like 3 or 4 profiles. Boot profile 1, if that's safely booted, reboot Windows, go into the BIOS again, load profile 2, and finally they said we don't know where it came from, but it was more stable like this, instead of just applying all the changes in one BIOS profile. So small build up, maybe some strap setting going on or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And finally the performance was there, and the raw megahertz as well. So they're pretty pleased about their Cinebench result.
Oh yeah. So do they have their memory timings were not that extreme? Did they talk to you about that in terms of what they're planning? No,
they didn't want to devote like that much time. They were like confident that CPU could do more when they just look at the megahertz versus the voltage, and said.
Yeah, and since they were in the top spot, was that there was no really point to spend more time
to further tweak. Now they're like already like running also 1900 GPU clocks.
Yep.
So we expect to see a way better score. Wow, there it is, 25-22-1. So
yeah, so that's the score with 75% OC on the CPU, and they're running at 1850 on the GPU with a memory at 2001 megahertz. So yeah, I think the build-up is going to be progressive in the next minutes or so. So what we should do is go around each team, and like that we can share with you guys everything we learned from when we were walking down there. So let's start with team number 1. So that's the one we were just talking about. So 8pack and Roman.
They're not like wasting any time. Ian told me as well, he's like confident most GTX 980s can do like easily 2000. He said, we're not wasting time at 1500-ish speeds that you should be able to do maybe on a high-end water cooling system as well. So Ian is also confident that just cool the card, find a sweet spot, work with the GPU tweak, the term spy software, and clog the card up. And they also did like a few small tests with the CPU just to compare how the impact was. And they said with 200 megahertz we're getting like 300 or 400 points at the moment, but at a certain moment it stops scaling, of course. But they're getting there, and they're expecting the CPU to work in a similar fashion as with Cinebench. So
yeah, so we can probably expect from those guys to definitely reach around almost 2600 and more, I suppose.
Yeah, I really expect if they can do like all like 2000 on the core and maybe more, they should be able to maybe secure top 5 easily at HWBot. Easily. It all depends, of course, how it runs, and I've already watched the different settings in drivers, and some teams are just benching without any LOD tweaking.
Okay.
And some you can't even see what's going on, so you can't even read the FPS anymore. It's all like one orange thing with a gray bar on the bottom. So they just also have to guess what is going on. So they're just waiting to run and just see what the the future mark tests what the
Yeah.
outcome is.
So it seems the guys are swapping memory models, and I'm not too sure. Probably had some. I'm not too sure exactly what they did. Probably like Roman is there with his flashlight.
Yeah, maybe they lost a channel. So that's something really common with X79 in the days and X99 now, is that sometimes you just boot and a certain moment you think
some modules are gone.
Where is my performance? It's gone, and then you open CPU-Z and you see that you're only like triple channel or something is going on. And it could be that they just pushed a thing a little bit too far and the CPU loses it, or it just could be small condensation issues. Or we have seen it before that even people thinking that the memory was dead, but it was just some condensation in the slot.
Yeah, no contact. A
and
little
then
bit of
it's
humidity.
then it's bye performance.
All right. Well, we'll go back a bit later to those guys, see how they're going as we go. There's new score, so we should definitely move to that score because that's a new top score actually right now. So that's Alex at Row and Perka Barry just scored 25,399.
Yeah, that's really impressive because if I'm just looking at their team, is like Perika is benching in fact, and Alex is still preparing card number 2. So they were like really confident about the volt mods they did on the first card, and they're just preparing already the backup card. Should something go wrong, that they always can straight go or switch to card number 2.
So all those guys modded to both cards, right?
Most of them already modded the 2 cards, and they're just trying to catch up, probably maybe due to the issues they had at Cinebench.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Just to get this thing going. But it was good, I think, for the Russian crowd who was watching on Twitch that at a certain moment we had Smoke and 12 in top spot, but they're looking for some extra performance right now.
Okay, so let's move on to team number 2. So Dan Cup and Bench Bros. So the German Panzers, how are the German Panzers doing? I saw latest submission 25,321, which is not bad. I mean, it's in the top 3, top 4 scores so far for this round.
Yeah, they were not looking that confident, I have to say.
No?
They were not like...
not so happy with what's going on?
Not so happy with what's going on. They were like a bit deceived, or that in the end they didn't work out for Cinebench, and they said, probably we have the inferior CPU, and if the GPU doesn't clock as well as we want it to, then it might be game over. But it's still 3 stages to go. A lot of things can happen. So
yeah, definitely.
Never give up. That's one of the things in overclocking. Just always keep on pushing it. That's why they invented that saying.
Yeah, and I suppose those guys, they said they were benching at home a few days ago, right before coming here. So they have a pretty good idea of what exactly they kind of expect from their systems today, because they actually had the exact same competition system, same memory, same graphics card, same motherboard. So they have a very good idea of what they're actually aiming at.
What they're aiming at, they have a target set, and they had like I think the number 1 record at a certain moment till the Gigabyte overclocker, the replacement for Dino's 22. You know the guy.
Oh I heard that name. Yes.
Dino can fill the fridge from now on for Jay Crimmins and co. And Sophos will be benching. But yeah, they had like top spot for a short while with very high clocks on the Strix card. But they had other RAM as well. It was also Corsair LPX, but it was the Hynix chips, and apparently these clock a little bit different. So we'll see how the scores work out.
All right, another placement score just submitted by the Greek guys. Nothing really exceptional, just a 19,000 score. I guess that's probably I think that's their first submission so far. So nothing really impressive, just a score to have a score, I suppose.
Indeed.
Moving on to the next team, let's go to team number 3, Wizardy and Terra Raptor.
So they were like really busy, not even wanting to be like interviewed.
Nothing, no information,
yeah,
nothing to say.
Wizardy was like still also redoing a mod, I think, on the second card.
Oh, okay, so
because he was grabbing out his soldering tool, so
maybe some wire got loose or something.
I got no idea. They were too busy. They were like, I don't. You feel it directly when you approach somebody and they turn your back onto you and they just like completely ignore you, like you don't even exist. Huh?
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
You know that feeling?
I've been around overclockers benching for a while, and it's true. In times of stress, no one wants to talk to you, no matter how persuasive you're trying to be, right? And I guess everyone has his job to do, and you can't really talk to someone that is working on something really particular at that point. Just you have
Yeah,
to.
I think they're also like measuring. Same with the Greek guys. They also
Yep.
had some issues because they said we tested the car before. We know how it handles and we know what the safe voltage was and stuff like that. And now they were like not really persuaded that the voltage mods they did were like correctly working, which is
Hmm.
of course crucial in these kind of competitions.
Yeah, so we can see right now Pterodactyl is bringing some into it. Benchmark is running, but Wizardy is kind of still walking around trying to. He has a like a that's the gun for the. I forgot the name.
Yeah, you see that there's some
Yeah, there's
internal.
something going on.
Yeah,
there.
there's bad karma at that table at the moment. So
This is not the table you want to start something with.
no.
You
There's
just,
no
like,
table.
let
There's
it-
no room for discussion at this moment. So
Yeah.
just leave the guys alone. And it's usually the thing with overclocking. It's like I think everybody benched and you're benching like for 3 or 4 hours and the desired score is not there or you can't reach or match the other score. You have a
Yes.
lot of issues and then at a certain moment everything falls together and yeah, that big score comes out. So
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what happened with them as we go. It's like,
yeah.
I guess right now no score, so we don't really know exactly what's going on. So we'll see a bit later on. I guess supposedly after the day after this round, we can probably ask them. So what was all this thing about?
Yeah.
Explain. We want to know everything.
Explain, yeah, and it could be that they use maybe the same cards tomorrow with a better mount of the GPU pod. And
That's often the case, right? When there's like a 2 days kind of competition like this, first day is like usually like the real battle, and the second day is more freestyle. Usually it works better on the second day. Yeah, the second day you see people scoring stuff the day before was absolutely not working
Yeah.
at all. Like you're like, okay, well, stress of the competition being away and no mistakes and and stuff like this. You always end up with slightly better scores. So yeah, moving on to the next team, Alex at Rowe and Perka Barry. So team number 4. So those guys did submitted a score already.
Yeah.
So that's the one we were talking about before, 25,399. So that's it's a pretty okay score. Actually, it goes really in line with what the other teams have. So right now, I guess this is what the hardware is capable at a decent overclocking.
yeah, I didn't expect that for 3D Mark 11 that we would see so many scores so quickly because
so
it's like
quickly,
really they're all climbing up the ladder now and in the beginning we were like at 21k, which was like okay-ish,
Yep.
safe scores as you call them, but now we're like approaching.
Yeah,
We're
now
approaching
it's
like
gonna be more.
top 3, top 5
Interesting.
in general ranking, which is like
Well, yeah, because now the scores are starting to appear on the GTX 980 page on
Yeah.
HWBot, so it means those scores are actually starting to be really relevant and really like in the profile of what we were expecting for this competition.
yeah. I think ASUS also expects or hopes that
Well, of course, right?
something will fall, but
Yeah.
I have to say that the Gigabyte team score is pretty solid.
So yeah, Alex at Row, the guys right now they seem to be.
Is he still modding or
He seems to be. I think he's in the tweaker tool, probably
Yeah.
working out frequencies and stuff.
so it's similar as with Terra Raptor and Wizardy. One guy is benching and the other
Yeah.
one is taking care of the
Yes.
replacement hardware. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, either preparing the second mod if they didn't have the time to, or we can see their second motherboard is also out, also insulated as well, just in case, probably preparing to
long
swap,
time.
unless they swap motherboards from the Cinebench. I'm not too sure. Drying the board.
Usually the issue is if
using
you
the
have
other
like
one.
a GPU Timothy, which is like really cold and the slot also gets like, and if you just swap GPU, it can be that it doesn't even run properly. So that's maybe why they're building the fail-safe and just probably heating up the CPU pod unmounted, put a good CPU in because they don't have like a solid second option. This
Yeah.
CPU is it, and the other one is really craptastic. So they have no option to just put the second CPU in the second motherboard. They probably will have to reuse this one if they want to get anywhere.
So the benchmark is starting. Graphics test number 1. We'll see if he lets it run a little bit or just
just see where
use it
where
as an
runs.
indicator of
If it
frames.
even runs.
No.
No, it crashed. So an overclock too far.
Yeah, well, you can see not Terra Raptor, Alex at Row in the back. He's holding a graphics card. I suppose he's adding some insulation on it. So preparing only the second card.
Yeah.
So yeah, those guys, if they were into Cinebench like all together, probably benching both at the same time. no one could had the time yet to prepare the second card.
I think we've seen it now already at 2 tables, and the table we're already advancing in teams, but Extreme Attic at the moment is like benching alone.
Yeah, so Giorgio is preparing.
Giorgio is like preparing the stuff, just fetching the LN2, so playing the monkey thing, and yeah, Michael Vobachil is doing his thing. So
yeah, and then now there's about like 40-ish minutes left, so there's no time to lose. I mean, like there's still 2 other benchmarks to go through. And yeah, if in those guys in the next 20 minutes are not so much more up, like it's gonna be like really challenging to keep up with the guys that are actually running already all in into the benchmarking.
And of course they can focus as well already on Firestrike, because 3D Mark 11 it's only from I think max 25 points.
Yeah.
So it's not even the 30 points as the other scores, and the Firestrike Extreme is going for 35 I think, top spot. So yeah, maybe they're just consolidating a good 3D Mark 11 and then move straight on to Firestrike.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like
we'll see. But I think already the clocks they can pull out of the card right now that they have an idea of, okay, this card will do this, and usually an overclocker has an idea if it can do this in that test. In that test it will be like maybe 100 megahertz or 50 megahertz less or more, depending.
So and you can see Extreme Addict and Giorgio Primo, they submitted a 24,890 score. So I guess this is just like for now the indication of what they're running out. They increased by about 1,000 points, a little bit more even, like 1,600, 700 points from their previous submission. So it's going up. It's going up. I don't think they seem to have any problems. Everyone is running more or less at the same CPU frequency, around 5,000 to 5,200.
I don't think they want to take any risk. They want to first clock the card and then just pull up, not looking for 2 problems at the same moment. So be sure of one. Usually the cards can run it for a longer period, not with Titan where you had to probably bench it in the first 30 minutes and then the performance was gone or you couldn't clock as a high anymore.
Yeah.
But I think most of them will probably be running 5.2, maybe 5.3 CPU easily. Yeah.
Alright, moving on to the next team. Let's have a look at our Greek friends at team number 5, Mortis Boy and Fire Killer GR. So those guys, how are they doing? They seem to be both sitting.
Yeah, they're not like...
No one is modding anything?
Not really enthusiastic anymore, I think.
I think they lost their power, man. Yesterday they were so optimistic about coming here, just winning the thing.
Winning the 5K and just go back to Greece and have a big
party or
something with lots of Uzu and babes,
maybe it didn't went as good as expected on the first one. I mean, like, I guess the deception of the first one can still be seen on their face, and it's not going to be easy to climb back up on. Especially after the scores of what the team of 8-Pack or Dan Cup posted, it's like it's really far away.
Yeah, it's a leap ahead, or how do you call it? They were like also measuring the voltages, and they were not really satisfied with what they were reading out. So it's overclocking at its best.
Yeah, we are seeing concerned faces.
Sometimes it's too bad, but
yep. Not there's a lot of questioning and discussion going on here, so usually that's the what do you think I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? I think this. Do you think this? Oh yeah. It's gonna be
so one of them pulled, I think Mortis Boy benched the Strix card, and the other, and Stavros Fire Killer GR indeed tested more the 2D part, but they were like till now unlucky in both, in fact. But it's still early days, so
a lot can still happen in the next 40 minutes.
Anything can happen.
All right. So Smoke and 12, team number 6. So those guys, well, they are still as chill and relaxed. We only have a back view on those guys from the fixed camera, but the cameraman is moving over. And I think those guys really do enjoy the couch. I have to say, those are the only ones that you actually see sitting on the couch and using it.
And Smoke is like in a really comfortable position. I also think he benched during the night the legacy cards. They were like
yesterday when I left, he was here already benching a little bit. Yeah,
so they were like benching 4890 and 48.7 X2 or something, and I think they went all through the night. And he's like, he looks like kind of tired. Yes. And 12 is just taking over. And just doing everything. And Smoke probably nods that it's okay what he's doing.
Yeah. But I mean, like for now they're doing all right, right? 25,504. It's all right. It's not as good as some of the others, but it's pretty high in terms of what everyone else is doing. So, and it is a score from John White and Madros, 20,751. So that's their placement score, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
First
they're
submission.
just warming up, or how you say it.
Well, warming up.
Warming
the
up is not really a good expression here in this hobby, but indeed,
Yeah.
they're just getting acquainted. I think again with the hardware and they're already like pulling out the second card maybe for modification.
Yeah.
So maybe not really convinced about the card they're running right now.
Well, it's possible. Maybe something went wrong in the bot, so just try another card and have the other guy look at it, like see what's going on exactly. In terms of rankings for now, if we have a quick look at the 3D Mark 11 performance rankings, so
look.
Extreme Addict and Georgia Prima are leading so far.
They're getting
25,892. So yeah, well, there's not that much distance between them and Dan.
Yeah, but 3D Mark 11 it usually is like really close if you like.
Yep.
And it's like with the small things in physics and stuff that you can just snatch those little precious points just to move up one spot. But it's a solid score. Extreme Addict knows what he's doing. It's not like he is extreme. He's really extreme in daily life as well as in his hobby. So yeah, Michael knows his stuff.
Like I say, keep pushing it, right?
Keep pushing it, man.
All right, moving on to the next team. So Extreme Addict and Giorgio, actually. Let's go to see them and see what those guys are up. So it seems like
So
everything
just
is
see that
alright.
Giorgio is like following up.
Yeah.
He's like
I almost saw some kind of smile on Extreme Addict's face. So everything is okay.
Yeah. So Giorgio's like playing the captain and just instructing, don't forget this, look at that, and then.
Yeah, keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on temps. Yeah. Giorgio is kind of like the in control guy here. I have the impression.
Yeah.
He's like like you see the monitoring guy, hands in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
see this?
close to Sniper Oz. Sniper Oz can bench with one hand in the pocket. I don't know what he's doing in his pocket. Doesn't matter, and then just pour and control everything. It's like genius. I will never ever reach that level. Oh, he's scratching his head now.
Ooh.
It might be a tricky run then, maybe on the edge already.
Yep.
We see a lot of artifacting going on.
Yeah, a lot of observation. See how
there's
the others
a
are
lot,
going.
a lot of stress going on at the moment. It's not like.
Well,
like
10 points is not enough. Definitely not enough to feel secure at this point. So.
Yeah, they need to. I think everybody is going for at least 27k. That should be the aim of the game.
Yeah. So right
Don't be
now in
satisfied
the
with
ranking, pretty much everyone is above 25,000.
Yeah.
There's only two teams, John White, Matt Rose, and 5 Kilo GR and Modest Boy that are around the 20k, I would say. So we'll see how those guys end up doing. It still seems. I think they probably are experiencing exactly the same problem. It must be, right?
Extreme Addict is like giving victory signs, so for him the FPS look good.
Yeah.
So
Look good or look better than the previous round?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just go back to them in a few minutes when the score is there. So there's some discussions on the chat about who is older and younger.
Yeah,
What is
yeah,
all
yeah.
this about? Let me know. Like, okay, talking about Australian overclockers.
It's like a love-hate relationship. Apparently there's something going on with Belgian people and Australian people.
I mean,
apparently
like,
we don't get along. I don't know why, but
I don't know. I don't want to get involved in any of those politics talks. All right, let's have a look at John Wine and Mattress Team 8. So those guys, they're still at 19,315 points, so just a placeholder pretty much. But at this point, I mean, the few points you get from that are not really so valuable. There's definitely some work to do here to go a bit higher. I'm not too sure what is going on.
Yeah,
it seems that Mattress is holding a graphics card, so he is insulating that one, or finishing
he's
to prep
prepping it.
to prep it. In the meantime, John White is tweaking his Windows. Oh, there seems to be some driver stuff that he needs to reinstall or something. He has quite a few artifacts on his screen as well.
Yeah, there's something going on. Maybe the memory is dead, because it looks like something's going on. And what are they going to do? Like flash the BIOS or what? I don't know what it's.
Some command
they're trying
line
to do.
goodness, my friend.
I can't make it up from here. Maybe we'll go quickly downstairs in a few minutes.
Yeah, just
Just
ask
see
them
what's going on.
what's happening. I think Matt Frost is going to talk to his friend Wizardy to maybe ask for some advice. Try to see what he recommends or show him his card to maybe check.
There were already like 2 teams who had corrupt SSDs again. So corrupt operating system, had to do a re-image. So yeah, when you're benching on the ad and it crashes all the time, usually it recovers, but at some moments it's
There's some pieces missing.
yeah, it's game over. So yeah, the setup of John White and Matt Rose is not looking
Not looking good.
not
at
looking
all.
in that great shape at the moment.
No, the artifacts are not getting better by the minute.
Nope.
Yeah, in that situation, it really depends of how fast you can be at getting a second card prepped, ready to go, to check if it wants come from the card, maybe, or maybe. I highly doubt at this point that it's from the operating system. It's definitely something hardware related.
It's the card. The card for sure, but it could be cold. We had similar issues on 780 Ti when we worked too slow. In fact, that we like. And at a certain moment, we could like reach easily the daily clocks, water clocks. We were like phase clocks, and then at a certain moment we got artifacts, and we just heat up the card. It was good again. So it was a memory artifact.
Yep.
So we'll just see if they can recover. Hopefully, I don't know what they did, but it's looking a little bit better now.
It looks better, yes. So the Greek team just improved their score, 21,241. So this brings them up in the ranking, pushing down John White and Matt Rose at the bottom of the ranking. But yeah, still very, very gentle OC, I would say.
Yeah. Just go slow and yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes it's too slow. We have seen it as well.
Yeah.
The thing is, of course, if you can bench a card and you can rebench it the other day, you have already an idea. If I'm pumping that voltages, that cold, I should reach those clocks.
Yeah.
So you can directly, in fact, start from there, not do the small increments. But that's not good if you're already crashing in so early.
There's some talks about backups on the chat.
Yeah. Sofol starts to bench after he filled the fridge.
Well, that's often what's happening during those competitions, right? Like everyone is looking at the scores and like, well, you know, it's an industry thing, right? Of course, you have to make sure you step on top of your game, and
it's the prestige of the manufacturer, of course. So these guys are in-house overclockers, and they set a record. Usually they don't post their best score; they just post a little bit better than the first spot before. So they will have probably backups, but yeah, it's nice to lead the ranking, of course.
All right.
So let's see who beats 26K first.
Yeah, this is going to be the race in the next minutes.
I don't think it will be that long, indeed.
For now, no improvement
Yeah,
so far. I hear the yes.
The yes from a Polish yes.
A Polish yes from Extrematic. This means there's definitely something going
Something
on
better
there.
is coming.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably passing the 26K.
Yeah.
So maybe we can move the camera to that team. So team number 7, and have a look at what they are going, what is going on over there. So Extrematic is doing some signs. There's a judge there to collect the result. Let's see how high this one is.
Yeah, just keeping them safe to make the screenshot. But again, it's one of the cleaner setups that we're seeing here. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it's very well ordered, and we can still see the black of the tablecloth, so
Yeah.
everything is fine, you know. Usually, if you can't see the table anymore. Oh yeah, so
Yeah, there we have
26K,
it.
168. Very well done.
Yeah, 1K to go. And just interested in the clocks they were running on the GPU now. So
Yeah, we should get the screenshot submitted pretty soon. Stapaka got the USB key, so he's bringing it to Peter to add it to the competition engine so we can see the score. If you guys want to follow the competition, don't forget you can access all the submissions from the OC Esports site. Throwing the link into the chat right now. If you are joining us, we are at the ASUS AOOC 2014 Europe Finals. This is an ASUS competition on Rampage 5 Extreme
Extreme, yeah.
and ASUS Strix GTX 980.
The one and only. Is the score up yet?
I'm waiting.
Oh, Massman is slow.
I'm waiting.
The Belgian waffle.
Is it the
trailing.
Belgian waffle effect?
I don't know.
So if it's a waffle effect, you should have some kind of issue with losing things because of the holes, or like some information gets lost in the process or
Lost in
something.
translation, maybe? I don't know.
So you have to fill the gaps with some Nutella. Or
Maybe he received some specific orders from Gigabyte HQ that he shouldn't post too quickly.
do you think?
Yeah. Come on, BJ, give us a score.
Give us the score. We want to see the score. That's the thing. When you cannot see the capture of the screen, you
Yeah.
cannot actually read. Like with the camera, you can zoom, but as readable as the benchmark score, you don't get really further on
Yeah.
the screen. So I suppose we have to wait a little bit, and that's it. The score is posted. So still at 5,000 megahertz on the CPU, but
Yeah, 1950.
1945 megahertz on the GPU, 59.95% overclock, and 2153 megahertz on the memory, 22%.
Yeah.
So this places the guy
And fifth spot,
fifth spot
Yeah.
on the GTX
980 global ranking.
single
on HW.
GPU ranking.
Yeah. It's not a global ranking, it's a ranking for the card itself, but it's a nice score and really running high on the GPU memory, in fact.
Yeah.
2153, similar to what Dankop posted, but he was still like clocking almost 200 megahertz higher on the GPU core. So
Yeah, we'll see what those guys are coming up in terms of score. For now, we are not. So the Slams, host of the competition, announced that there's 25 minutes left in 3D Mark 11. So that's 25 minutes to go before it's too late to submit any more
Any
3D
score,
Mark
yeah.
event performance score. There are still some teams that definitely needs to do some proper work on their scores if they want to get anywhere near getting more than 15 points into the rankings.
So 8-pack and their power better move up and or they're just waiting again.
Well, you know, it's maybe a bit, yeah, like
It's
maybe
a
it's like
tactic,
before,
a
right?
strategic thing.
It's a strategic thing. Yeah, you know, we can push a little bit still. If you look at the other teams, right, they submit their scores like a lot of
On the fly.
small improvements, right? Like 100. I think 8-pack and Derbauer are not really into that uptick. They're going to rerun it until they really have a significant increase and feel like this is pretty much the maximum or close to whatever maximum they can get.
But the camera is still on Roman. Otherwise we could see what the action was. Camera 1 is not moving. Or maybe it's a slow update. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think the static camera of Roman is having some kind of issue. Offline. So we have one camera offline. That should be resolved in the
Is camera 1 still working?
coming minutes.
I think 8-pack and their bow, they're positioning the second GPU in another PCI Express slot. So they're moving the new card a slot further down or 2 slots further down.
Yeah.
Because they're not like benching at the moment. So
All right.
they have some issues on the webcams.
So what we can do, we can bring maybe the mobile camera to team number 1 and see what is going on there. Because yes, if the 8-pack team has some kind of issue, it is actually a strategic thing to consider for the other teams. Because yes, they scored very well on the first one, but this is only 30% of the competition.
Yep.
There's another 70% of the points to grab in the 3D benchmark, and if you don't deliver on 3D, well, you kind of, it's not gonna make it.
Yep.
Impossible.
I don't know how many points will they get, like 15 points only. See, so in fact the gap with the other teams is like close, so they're cooling down now.
Yeah.
See, they moved 1 slot
Yeah.
further down. Just ensuring that they have the PCI Express 16 running, and then that's one of the issues that you have. Cards on cold and something goes wrong, you want to position them. Of course, boards like this, they have several PCI Express slots that work at the same speed, so the CPUs have enough PCI Express lanes to support it all, but
Yeah.
the problem is the system has issues, and sometimes it's better to just dry up. But of course I think they want to really hammer at least a solid 25k.
Yeah.
25.5k, something that they're again in like 3rd spot.
I guess condensation issues should be pretty limited here. It seems the air is very dry, and
it's not benching in Taipei, is it?
oh yeah, it's very different from benching in Asia, I suppose. And especially also Robin Debauer is pretty good at insulating and prepping his hardware. I'm quite confident that if it's related to any condensation thing, it's probably just through the motherboard and the PCI Express lanes, not really on the card itself. Interesting color for Windows 8, not my favorite taste.
Heating up again, so they're still having issues somewhere.
Yep.
It's not going well, or not as they expected again, but
No,
we'll
for
have to
sure
wait.
not.
It's like still 20 minutes to go, so
Yeah, I think we can
that's
keep
still a long time.
just rotating static cams around the teams and
they
see
can still
how
run,
everyone is
do
doing.
like easily a few runs without any issues.
Yeah. So hey, Albrecht, what do you think about the way the with all those comps? Like this year has been really intense in OC competitions. What do you think? How do you see the scene evolve in the coming months or
It's
years?
I think overclocking in general has had like a big boom this year. I think Massman also said like this was one of the most eventful, let's call it like that, years till now, and apparently 2015 is going to be even more intense on several levels. But we have seen like really some big events as well at Computex with Intel doing an event with all the main manufacturers also inviting amateurs just to get them into the scene, and the new changes in fact at HWBot as well. So not just the normal rankings with let's say ambient cooled, the normal elite ranking, the pro ranking, now the new esports. Yeah, you see that people are getting interested, and especially with the rookie thing as well. I think what was it? Which team was it? Overclock.net, which was like the most recruiting new people. So the scene is expanding, and I think it will not remain limited to let's say the 30 or 40 benches that we know worldwide. Always new people pop in and beat the masters at their own game. So
that's good, you know. It makes the scene a lot more dynamic than what we've seen probably the previous year, where we were seeing a lot more of the same faces. Like for example, today there's 2 new faces. Not totally new to the community, of course, but it's people that never made it into those kind of big competitions.
No, and it's also people because they don't bench the high-end hardware. So they
That's
will
true,
probably will never be like on the front page at HWBot because they bench rather older hardware, and sometimes not even the hardware. They have older hardware that gives like a lot of global points, like the 4890 cards, which everybody is rebenching now, like we saw last night. So those are cards that give like a lot of points and for the team and of course for your own. But yeah, if you can't make it or you just don't have access to those super fast cherry-picked CPUs, yeah, you're still like stuck at a certain moment. Ah, there is the French guy, Wizard D and
Oh.
Pteroraptor.
So those
striking
guys,
back.
ooh, actually, yeah.
Very close score.
So it's getting better, actually a lot better. The jump is pretty significant
Yeah.
from what they had before, but so 26,126.
Yeah.
So this is very close to what Giorgio Primo and Extreme Addict actually had,
So
which
we got,
brings them back into the in the rankings to the 5th place. It's actually quite interesting to consider this.
yeah.
It's getting really crowded and really tight in terms of
And that's also I think why the selection of this year I think it always has been at AOC, but this year has been like these will be very tight scores. You see it as well during other events, 3D Mark 11 and Firestrike. They are so close. If everybody reaches like similar clocks, there's like not much headroom. There's like no bucket scores that provide I don't know how much boost.
Yep.
And we have like a question indeed because again people are wondering why they're using Windows 8. Well, there was like an issue with the Windows 7 install provided by the organizer. So only 1 or 2 teams could properly boot into Windows 7 even at stock speeds.
yeah.
And it's not because Russia would like to ban any US products so far, so don't mention that. No, there was just
No.
an issue with the Windows 7. They couldn't find it. They tried to re-ghost it. It didn't work out, so the organization just decided, okay, we bench everything on Windows 8.
So
Point
as a
final.
matter of fact, everyone now when they submit the scores needs also to make a reboot to show
I think
CPU
so, yeah.
frequency on reboot.
Unless they indeed, if you boot at 125,
Yep, of course.
I think
yeah.
it's quite logic that they didn't boot at 122 and then up 3B clock.
Yep.
But 3D benching, I think, is in general accepted. No, with the normal, with the new Future Mark system infos, it's not like because they had provided Windows 8 anyway for 3D, so it's not an
Yeah.
issue.
It is Windows 8.1, I think.
I'm
Well,
not-
according to the documentation we got from the organizer, it is written 8.1 and 64 bits.
yeah, but at a certain moment, Vlad did like a small
Okay.
erratum that Windows 8 looked faster or something.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that was the final update.
I see. So yeah, we're going to see. But maybe a bit later. Ask Vlad. So which version
Yeah,
is it?
maybe we can grab him here. But of course, he's so busy just
Yeah.
seeing that everything is running properly and everybody is doing their job. Yeah, it's his show, in fact, today. He is the main.
Organizing a competition like this is a lot of logistics and things to think about. Especially, if you're like the office here in Russia is not super massive. There's not 100 people that can work on the event, so it's a very optimized ship in terms of how many people worked on this event, and it's really impressive actually.
And it's
what
the
they
third
could
time in a
deliver
row that
today.
they did like a. Until now, it's like okay, the scores might not be up to their expectations, but it's a very smooth going event.
Yeah,
the
very
venue
well.
is great. The hardware is great to work with. Okay, some people will probably complain after when we do the end interviews, and too bad we don't have like 5.7 CPUs and stuff like that. But
Yeah. Well,
the competition is intense, and that's what counts, in fact.
Yeah, in the end, it's not about who, if it's possible to get the fastest CPU. For a competition, what you want is having people have the as equal as possible hardware.
So 15 minutes to go.
15 minutes to go. And I seem to have a little problem loading my
BJ,
scores.
BJ. Zit
Oh.
iets bij HW-bot bezig om te zeggen dat het down is? Kan dat?
Oh, it's back. So no new score updates for the moment. We're still at the latest submissions by the French guys.
Do we have something new to talk about? No, still the same. So very close scores. Battle is on.
Yeah, battle is on and only 15 minutes to go, so there's very limited time, I think.
Yeah, it's a few runs that you can do.
Yeah.
That's also why it's good sometimes that you can make profiles or just remember the settings. Some guy just writing it down, because in the heat of the fight, and in fact you can forget what frequency was I looking for, and I even validated scores which I thought were like great, but I was like so tired at the end.
Yeah.
That was a few K off, so it happens.
Yep. It seems we have less and less LN2 tanks here. We used to have a lot more, right?
There's some viewers left, I think. No. But I thought Slam said like LN2 supply was no big issue. In fact, they just could order, or maybe they just calculated for today and they will do like a refill for tomorrow, because tomorrow is like a free benching day, similar as to MSI MOA, I think, the second day they did. But there's like no prices involved, I think, Timothy, for this time. So just regular benching, try to just have fun and
yeah, I think tomorrow is the proper definition of freestyle benching.
Freestyle benching, yeah.
So really, you do what you want. You get provided. You can reuse the gear you got today. You can bring your own stuff, no problem. And
as long as it's ASUS, it's nobody cares. So
well, of course,
doesn't matter what you want to bench.
So yeah. For now, it depends since when you left. I'm talking to Celarian on the chat. A few things happened. French guys back. It seems. It seems that Extreme Addict already posted his first Fire Strike score, opening the score for that benchmark.
Ah, okay, cool.
With 8,964 marks.
Just going to have a quick check on the bot where that falls into place.
Yeah, so that's running 1897 megahertz on the GPU, 2153 megahertz on memory. So this is very similar to the frequencies actually they had before for the best score in the 11 performance.
The extreme one is like a bit off.
Yeah, so it's like they're running 100 megahertz low on the GPU above.
Yep.
So let's see how high that scores into the rankings.
Just have to quickly check. 8964. Oh, it's not a bad score, I think. Come on.
Yeah, that's the one.
It will come.
So many lines.
So many people on the bot.
Yeah, OC's board was shortly unavailable. I think it's back now. All my scores are loading again, so... So I suppose since the team of Extreme Addict and Giorgio switched to 11 to Fire Strike, they are not going to bench 11 performance anymore. Anyway, it's only 10 minutes left, so not so much point. Right now, we are not really impressed by the submissions of 8-pack and the Bauer. I mean, like we were expecting. I mean, like I was expecting a little bit better. Sure, the scores are really tight, right? If you look, there's a lot of people around 25k plus, but they have the lowest 25k score in the whole place. So
I think they will have to pay the beers this afternoon because the score is not up to their desired level.
Well, but like
it's 10 minutes to go, Timothy. You never know what these guys are.
We never know, right?
Capable of pulling off, and it's like we said. Even if they just start the benchmark in the last seconds. If it's running before the time runs out, they can still complete the run. So,
and 3D Mark 11 performance is weighted, I think, 25% in this competition. So it's a slightly lower than Cinebench by 5%, but all the other benchmarks, so Fire Strike is 30%, and Fire Strike Extreme 30 or so.
So at moment with the score from Team Extreme Addict and Giorgio Primo is like 8th spot worldwide for the GTX 980 card. So again, a solid score for the hardware that they're using, because they're not using like their favorite CPU. Maybe have a CPU at home that clocks way better memory, stuff like that. But very good score. If you can always submit like between top 5 and top 10, you're doing solid, especially on a live event where you have to make decisions on the spot.
Yeah. So I mean, like they're running pretty much at the exact same frequency than what they had for their tops run on 11 performance. There's not that much difference in between both. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask it on the chat. Also, remember that today we are running a giveaway for those interested in winning an ASUS Strix GTX 980. Sorry,
Yeah, that's it.
I'm rumbling. So if you want to join the contest, make sure to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/overclocking-TV, and over there you can, in the sidebar on the left, you have a button to enter the contest. Quick question to be answered: how many editions has there been of the ASUS AOOC competition? 1, 2, 3, or more, or less, or somewhere around there.
Doubt it.
Well, easy question to win a pretty nice graphics card. So it's always worth the try if you know the answer, and even if you don't know, you can invite your friends and get another chance to enter a vote. So actually you could try all 4 of them if you invite
Sure.
4 friends to
Why not?
participate. I'm just saying, take it, have it safe.
8 minutes.
Flanker, the stream, we've planned to stop the stream around 7 p.m. after the award ceremony, because we're probably going to get some foods. Most of the guys, I think, are going to eat around here, because I think food is going to be delivered to the venue. So I'll probably just keep the stream on, like as a music and image kind of stream, but we're probably not going to have talks for the whole night. I mean, it's not, we're going to run out of topics of things to say, and then it just gets a little bit out of control, I think, at some point.
It's like people who are married like for 20 years, they don't have like that much new to talk about. So,
So, Abrash, how's it going? It's going.
okay. And for you, my love, it's okay as well. Yeah, indeed, it's like a really tight battle, and that's also one of the things why I liked the benchmarks that the ASUS team chose. Really,
I really like the
good
selection,
choices.
actually. Cinebench is a good opener, and even like 11 performance is a good in between, and then like full out 3D, perfect. And most of the guys here anyway enjoy 3D, and
Yeah. There's only one judge here, Tapaka, who doesn't like 3D. He's like a 2D bencher.
yeah.
He benched anything from Pentium till 5960X, and he hardly does like 3D. But that's to each his own, of course. It's all about the fun.
Yeah. We sadly don't have a Russian stream available. There's only one stream out here from the venue. So yeah, no Russian stream this time. Maybe next time it's something we can consider. If you guys want, we can probably, if Vlad has some free time, but he's really busy. We had planned to have him on the stream, come over and answer a few questions or talk a little bit to you guys in Russian, because this is happening in Russia, and there's a lot of viewers that are probably from Russia and would like to get some information. But yeah, he's really busy, a lot more than we expected, so we might not be able to get him on the stream.
Yep.
So no new submissions so far, no news from the Extrematic team,
I just
and
think,
the other guys still have about 5 minutes to submit their benchmarks in the other categories. So for now, yeah, it's quite quiet, I would say.
So I'm already trying to figure out who was Massman Sucks, but I have a pretty good idea that I know.
You think it's Massman himself or what?
I rather think it's Jonas Klar or something. Should that be possible?
I don't know.
That Jonas is following, or maybe it's MSI, or what's it called? Max OC from MSI.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, you remember that guy?
Hi guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the new guys coming and joining.
Yeah, I think it's the one who is snowed under at the moment. Everybody in the community knows who you are, man.
Yeah.
We're on to you.
So right now on the stream you can see Dave Bauer and 8-pack.
Yeah. Just on the, let's say, the body language of Roman, it's he's getting like nervous.
Concerned.
Yeah, concerned. He's like, I have no idea how we should, or how we are going to pull this one off.
Well, especially, right now, they know very well they're far off, right?
Yeah.
So they keep on looking at the scoreboard like, am I dreaming? But, no, you're
This is
not,
not really
you're
happening.
Not,
This is
and
not
yes,
really happening.
And yes, you're ranked 6th right now, which is not that great, so It's gonna be a hard one to catch up on. There's 3 minutes and 52 seconds in this round,
Yeah,
and
it's
after
over.
that will be over for 3D Mark 11 performance.
So this should be like their ultimate run, in fact.
Well, pretty much, yeah. If it's
Roman
not this
is-
one, it's the next one. They have the right to start the
Yep.
run before the time ends and finish it after if it's not over. So yes, we can maybe recap the hardware they're using. So today benching is on the ASUS Rampage 5 Extreme. So that's a X99 motherboard.
Yep.
And for the graphics card, GTX 980,
980
Strix. So yeah, CPU wise, Intel Core i7 5960X. So that's the latest, newest 8-core processor for the performance platforms.
Yeah.
And comes for the guys with Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigs 2800 memory, Corsair SSDs, and Corsair AX 1200i power supply. OS here says Windows 8.1. We're not sure about that. It should be
We'll ask Vlad.
8081. We'll see. Yep, we're not too sure about that because some last-minute changes have been made.
So the new score is up.
No new
No.
score up yet. Well,
Because somebody at the Twitch saw 26,228, but I don't see it yet, guys.
they might still be added to the system.
Because I don't see PJ Massman typing any score, so I don't. Maybe they couldn't validate it. I don't know what the idea was. Yes, indeed, it's a €1,000 retail CPU.
Well,
That's
yes.
but that's normally where all the extreme models of Intel were. If you remember, 980X, 49.
It used to be also
60X,
1000. Yeah.
4970X. So yeah, it's the high line. It's normally for the, let's say, the well-fortunate people.
Yeah.
There are no dead motherboards here.
No dead motherboards today.
So Roman setting the final things, or he's just validating.
1 minute.
So this will be it.
Two teams only. What is going on? So no other submissions so far. So if there's another run to do, it's now.
Yeah,
You guys
it
have
has
to
to be
start
this
it.
one or never.
Well, yeah, there's 43 seconds to go. I don't think we'll see much changings in the ranking for that one right now.
I think this will motivate Extreme Addict and Giorgio Primo.
Oh yes,
Pretty
yes,
hard.
yes.
They know they have like a solid GPU running. They
Yeah.
have got good clocks and
Well, yeah, and
you see it's not all about the CPU, and that's why this is a fun benchmark. CPU can help, but not that much. And there's like much doubt, so final seconds sticking true.
yeah, and you know they arrived fifth on the Cinebench round, so
Yeah.
this places them right now at the top spot for the competition. Really closely followed by Wizity and Terror Raptors that are second. So
Yeah, they just started in U time, I think. They're running now.
yeah.
Rowan is like,
Also, it seems there's been some score submissions.
Yeah.
In all the different benchmarks, so that's why they are leading right now. We are not sure this is going to be the final ranking. So if you look at the overall ranking, all the three top teams, so Extreme Addict, Giorgio Primo, Wizity, Terror Raptor, Smoke, and 12, all submitted in all the three benchmarks. So this makes that they're very placed ahead on the overall ranking. But since APAC and Debauer haven't submitted anything in the two others, that are Fire Strike and Fire Strike Extreme,
yeah, they're dropping in the ranking.
there will be still a lot of changes in that one. So
this
let's
is the
have a
final
look at
thing
the
that they-
ranking for this round. So Giorgio Primo and Extreme Addict are first.
Wait, that run is not finished yet.
It's not finished yet.
I
Oh
think,
yes,
I think this is their
APAC
final
is still
run.
running around.
It looks like 3D Bark
Let's
11.
tune in
It's
camera
blue.
1 in full screen to see what's going on there. That's the last run.
And it's still running.
Still running. Is it going to give them a few spots up or not? If they want to go up, they need to be better than 25,399.
You really can see the tension on the faces.
Yeah.
This must be it, and maybe they can reclaim some vital points here. But
Well,
has to
yes,
be-
sufficient
be
points
like-
to, you know, if they go up just by one spot, they get 2 points more.
yeah, they should at least score the 25,504 from Smoke and 12. That's the score they should at least beat, because
Yeah.
otherwise
Trying to get at least 19
they're
points in
losing
that
too many
ranking would be
points.
good. So the judges are coming next to the last ones that are finishing their last run. Crashed.
it
So
crashed.
yeah, it seems it's crashed, so it's over for them. They are not going to get any more points for this round. So 8 de Barre are stuck at 25,221. That was it. And there's no other submissions. So now Fire Strike is starting.
But this
So-
opens the competition completely.
Yes,
Which
yes,
is a nice
yes. I
thing.
really, yeah. This makes it really intense, and this like there's no
Yeah,
5 chances kind of thing.
prizes are only given away at the finish line, not before.
Yes, right.
That proves it again.
Exactly. So Fire Strike, that means 1 more hour for that benchmark, and then another hour after that for Fire Strike Extreme. So it's all going to come down now to how strategically the guys manage their time.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And it's like, yeah, Extreme Addict is already like setting his claws in the Fire Strike and Fire Strike Extreme. So he's already ahead of the other guys. They already, I think, when did they submit the score? It's like about 30 minutes ago already, something like that.
Yeah, it's already a while ago now.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting, you know.
We should have a live scoreboard here as well for us, Timothy. Next time.
Oh, you mean like this one?
Yeah, that's just constantly shown, so you don't need always to look
Yeah.
to the back.
It's cool because it looks really nice, but it's in the back.
So is Sophos right? Is a 26,228 validated? Yeah. My Wizardy. So okay. So he's taking first spot there. No?
Well, scores on the page should be the scores validated.
So why is it validated so late?
Might have been given in the USB, or we didn't saw it passing by.
For me, you can kick Massman sucks.
Yeah, I was considering it. Think it's going to end
Jeez,
up like that.
So 26,228, just 5th spot worldwide. So not a bad score at all.
Yeah.
The French did it again. Part French. There's also some
French
Kazakhstan
and Kazakh.
influence, but
But there's 2 French and Kazakh teams, so it's like it's confusing, right?
will they maybe unite? Is that maybe a new thing that is going on?
Yeah. I'm having a hard time to get to the submission page. I can
Yeah,
load anything.
It's really slowly updating. It will come, but
Oh, looks to be updating for you at least.
yeah, I have the score, but I don't get like. Just clicking it. And it's loading.
Oh, yeah,
Just
got
give
it
it some
now.
time.
So yeah, that 11 performance by the French guys is definitely validated.
Yeah.
So this actually gives them the lead.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's the top score. So Michael will be like a little bit disappointed that they didn't get like the full 25 spot at least.
Yeah.
But I think
And now is the time where they might just regret having a switch to Fire Strike a little bit too early or not. You don't know, right?
Maybe.
But it's 2 points. It might still be alright. But they have to compensate for the 5th place they had on Cinebench, and the French guy did already slightly better before, so it means they are quite ahead in front of them in the actual rankings.
I think they're like in a very good position they can keep up this performance. You don't always need to finish first.
Oh, no.
If you saw it with 8-pack in their Bauer now, they're getting like the mental blow now. What went wrong? How does it come? 3D Mark 11 didn't run, and
yep.
I hope for them that they find a solution to pull it off in the Fire Strike round.
So hey, what if we it's time to give away a T-shirt or something like that? So who in the chat is interested by getting a T-shirt? AOC T-shirt or OCTV T-shirt? You guys vote and then we decide. We have both of them, so I will let you guys pick which one you prefer us to throw in first.
So how do they enter, Timothy?
Well, right now I'll just throw in which one you want, and depending of who is actually preferring which. So you have to say AOC or OCTV. Like this, we know which T-shirts you guys want. And you cannot say both. Well, you can vote for both. That's fine as well. No, we cannot change the nickname on it. The T-shirt we have from the AOC for you guys just have no nickname on the back.
Yeah.
They're just standard T-shirts.
Just trying to refresh.
Right. I see a bit of everything here. Not too sure.
I can show the AOC one again.
Oh yeah, show it, of
So,
course.
I will not put it on because I'm not the ideal model to show off, let's say.
Don't be shy. Well, okay, we'll not put it on. Well, show it again. Show it again.
Show it again?
Yeah.
was
So
too
people see it very well. Like, that's the T-shirt you guys can get
Without a name on it.
without the name on it, of course. And we have a similar version, OCTV one.
And it really feels like a high quality fabric. It's not something that you wear once and then just.
You're a very good salesman for T-shirt, aren't you?
I'm a good salesman for anything, man.
All right. So I see more AOC comments on the chat. So let's get going with that giveaway. So this is how we are going to do it.
Okay.
The guys have. It's the first one that. So people have to give the answer to the questions,
Okay.
and then I will count how many people participated, and we'll just make a draw among who participated in the contest.
Okay. So we just ask in
So
somebody and we just say, okay, we had like 25 people. Which number?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll do like this. Sounds
It's
good.
Okay.
All right. So the question is, who won the Cinebench round?
Go, 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 go.
And if you actually have to open the ranking to reply to that question, you're probably not worth getting the T-shirts. We can probably get it signed, yes.
Yeah. By all the overclockers, so there will not be any more space left of the T-shirt.
You would go from a white T-shirt to a black T-shirt.
Okay, thank you for that, Frederick. So apparently there's a move on the server for HW bot, so we're getting like faster loading times. Thank you.
Thanks,
for that.
Frederick.
So 3 answers.
So both team number or nicknames are
Yeah.
fine. With we
4,
accept
5,
everything.
6, 7, 8.
And just vote once. There's no need to vote
Yeah.
twice.
I think we got 15 in total already. Is that
Yep.
possible? Just wait if there's some new.
Yeah,
people
we need
wanting
a
to
bit
win
more. I
T-shirt.
think 15 is too weak.
There's a nice number.
We need more participation.
So we just asked the director here of the camera crew a number between 1 and 15,
Yeah, that's it.
and then you look up the name.
That's right.
That's how it works. Okay.
I'm gonna send you a PM, and then you have to, of course, just send me your address.
Yeah.
There's no need to send me your address if I haven't sent you a message. I don't reply to to inbox spam. That's what happened in the last live stream. Like, yeah, I like Truthman, I think, said, yeah, just send us your address, and then all of a sudden, like, there was like 50 guys sending in their address, but not being drawn for anything. It shows closed. That's normal. But what we are interested in is in the stage leader for the Cinebench round.
Yeah.
Well, Cinebench stage in that case.
Yeah.
Actually.
So we close the submissions, Timothy, or we just continue?